Everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I'll be profiling for you my Gravekeeper deck. Yes, as you guys know, if you've been subscribed to this channel for a long time, Gravekeepers are my #1 favorite deck of all time in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been playing the deck ever since it originally came out in Pharaonic Guardian. I've loved the deck. It's probably one of the few decks, if I ever got out of the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I would still keep because I love the deck that much. And with the release of Card Demise out of the Millennium Pack a couple of months ago, I've been playtesting running Card Demise and Gravekeepers. It seems to be working out fairly well. I really enjoy playing it in the deck. It makes the deck a lot faster and everything, but I have found also that there's pros and cons to running Card Demise in the deck. So I'd have to say that even though I do like it in the deck, and I do find it's very useful because Gravekeepers have always been a trap-heavy deck, because their main boss monster, the back of the deck, is Gravekeeper Spy, flipping it down and up. So, yeah, saying that, there are pros and cons. I know a lot of people say, well, there's cons to running Card Demise in your Gravekeeper deck? Yeah, because your main power play is Spy, but I do like it in the deck right now, and I am running it. The ban list has not dropped yet, so I don't know if Demise is going to get hit, but I have thoroughly enjoyed this deck over the last couple of months. So without further ado, let's get started, guys. First, we run our 3 Gravekeeper Spy. Spy is the backbone of the Gravekeeper deck. Hands down, it is the backbone of the deck. It's your main power play in the deck. You set your Spy, you set a couple of traps, and then you flip up your Spy on your turn, and then you just go off by summoning your Recruiter, your Descendant, popping back row, popping Pendulum Zones, popping whatever you need to pop. Pop, pop, pop. So yeah, 3 Gravekeeper Spy, staple in the deck. Next we run 3 Gravekeeper's Recruiter. Some people don't like Gravekeeper's Recruiter, but I've seen people run it as a 2 of, a 1 of. They think it's too slow. For me, playing Gravekeepers for the longest time now, going on 12 years, literally, and when this card originally came out in Star Strike Blast, I've loved the card. It's literally Witch of the Black Forest for Gravekeepers. Literally, when it hits the graveyard, you get to search out just about every single Gravekeeper you can, except Gravekeeper Spy, which is sad, but they did invent other cards for that, but we're not running those in the deck at the moment. But yes, Gravekeeper's Recruiter is very good. It's a 17-beat stick when you have a Necro Valley out in the field, so it's a very good card in general. It goes with your main play of, setting your Spy, flipping up your Spy, getting your Recruiter out, normal summoning your Descendant, and just popping 2 cards on the field. So, yep. 3 Recruiter. Then I run 2 Commandant. Now, I've always been an advocate for the longest time of running 3 Commandant. And I would say that if you're not running Card Demise in your Gravekeeper deck, you should definitely run 3 Commandant. So if you're not running Card Demise, you definitely should run 3 Commandant. But if you're running Card Demise in your deck, you're drawing, with all the draw power we have in here, what do we got? We got 2 Allure of Darkness, we got 3 Card Demise, Upstart Goblin, 3 Pod Duality. You're just drawing through your deck constantly, and you can easily search out Necro Valley. And if you have Commandant, yes, he's a 21 beat stick and he's very good on the field for beating down over cards, but you can easily recurl him back with Gravekeeper's Stele, so you can easily get it back if you really need to search it off. And with all the draw power in this deck, you're easily going to get to Necro Valley in your first turn usually. Consistently, I've found that it's very true. I will say, though, if you do not run Card Demise in your deck, and you're just running Pod Dualities and Allure of Darknesses, you should definitely run 3 Commandant. But if you're running the Demise version, 2 is all you need. You can't use Commandant with Allure of Darkness because the fact of the matter is he's an Earth, he's not a Dark, so you can't banish him if he's in your hand. So, yeah, that's the reason I run 2 of him instead of 3 in Card Demise deck. Next, I run 2 Gravekeeper's Descendant. 2 is all you really need, I find, in this deck. He is amazing. He states pretty much you can tribute 1 other Gravekeeper on the field to destroy 1 card on the field. And you can do this multiple turns. It's not a once per turn effect, which is really nice. So if you go set Spy, flip up your Spy, get out a Gravekeeper's Recruiter in defense position, and then I go Gravekeeper's Descendant, pop Recruiter, pop a back row, search a card, pop Spy, blow up your monster, attack, swing for 2,000. I mean, it's a really, really good card, and definitely 2 of in the deck, but 3 of gets a little bit cloggy, and if you draw 2 of them in your opening hand, you can banish 1 with Allure of Darkness. So, yep. Next, I still like the versatility of these two cards. I still run them as one-ofs in the deck. One Gravekeeper's Assailant and one Gravekeeper's Heretic. Gravekeeper's Assailant is really, really good still. It helps you get over monsters. I know targeting is not a good thing in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I can't tell you how many times Gravekeeper's Assailant, even in today's game, has literally helped me get over things. It used to be called the Sheehan Killer back in the day for Gravekeeper Sheehan, when Gravekeepers and Six Samurais were very prevalent in the meta more or less. But nowadays, he still can help you get over things, and he's searchable removal that can get over things. You just target a monster, make it to defense position, has weak defense, run over it. Gravekeeper's Heretic is kind of nice because he is of 18 body, and he can't be targeted. So if they try to Regeki you or something, he's just a nice searchable card. You understand more of his applications as you start playing the deck more. The fact that he can't be targeted does come in handy and can save you some games here and there. So I do like the one Heretic. I may take him out, but I was debating between running him or running things like, you know, Gravekeeper's Shaman maybe, or Gravekeeper's Nobleman. I was thinking about running maybe one of these two cards, but I decided not to and instead opted for running another Gravekeeper's Heretic. Heretic over those two because I found it to be better. So one Assailant, one Heretic. Next up, we run our 3 Necro Valley. It is staple in the deck to the day the deck dies. Unless they come up with another version of Necro Valley that's awesomely more better, you will run Necro Valley in this deck. Necro Valley is a very, very, very good card in this deck. It shuts down so many decks. It's been a anti-spell card, meta card for years now. People just run Necro Valley and Commandants in some decks just to stop meta decks. But you definitely run 3 Necro Valley in the deck. Like I said, you have 2 Commandants. You easily can search it out. You have enough draw power and search power in this deck to get to your Necro Valleys very quickly. But you still want to run 3 of the field spell because it's that good of a card. And sometimes you will go through 3 in a duel. I'm not joking, especially with Twin Twister and Cosmic Cyclone being a thing now. 3 power duality, consistency, consistency, consistency. You pretty much your first turn play, if you're playing this deck, your best first turn play is going to set your spy, set some back row, and go off. So you're not going to special summon. And power duality just gives you consistency to your deck. It really, really does, and it makes you able to look through things that you need. More back row, some of these monsters you could use down the line, whatever the case may be. Power duality is a staple as a 3 of in this deck. Definitely. Next we run our 3 Carved Demise. So this is the card that is amazing in this deck because you run a lot of traps. I mean, how many traps do I run here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could have run more, but I was like, I could run more anti stuff in the extra deck, which I don't have on me right now. I disassembled that last night. But yes, 3 Carved Demise in this deck. It works out very, very well. Especially in Game 2, it really works out really well because if you're signing things that really hurt your opponent more than you, like anti-spell fragrances and things of that nature, yes, it will slow your deck down, but if you make a good field first turn and then you set the anti-spell fragrance, you're good to go. It just helps you thin out your deck, search for combo pieces, search for cards that can be useful. So, I mean, literally what you can do is set your spy, Carved Demise. Oh, I got 3 more cards. After I set my hand, set these cards, draw, and just wait till next turn to go off. But you're thinning through your deck and you have more options. So I really like the Carved Demise in the deck. I may take it out in the future, but for right now, I do like it in the deck. It's such a good card in Gravekeepers at this moment in time, especially if you're building an anti-version, version of Gravekeepers. I still may add more trap cards. I was thinking about adding things like when I was building this deck last night, I was thinking about adding more traps like a second Rite of Spirit and the Vandy's Emptiness. I'm not running them currently, but if you want to, you could easily run those cards in the deck. I thought I would show you guys some other options I was thinking about when I was rebuilding my Gravekeeper deck a couple months ago, and I've been retooling it ever since. Next, I run 2 Gravekeeper Stellae in the deck. It's a staple. It helps you recoup cards. I mean, heck, if you go Carved Demise and you have to pitch a card to the graveyard because you drew a monster, it just sets up for Gravekeeper Stellae. Honestly, I will tell you, with Carved Demise, Gravekeeper Stellae can become live in the early game and not just the mid and late game. It's a great top deck, but in the late game. But Carved Demise kind of makes it a little bit more live, especially if you have to send to your graveyard your Gravekeeper monsters. She's like, oh, Gravekeeper Stellae, I'll recoup those back on my next turn. yeah, that's cool. It's really, really good. Next, 2 Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness, I don't know. I've been debating if I've had too much draw power in the deck. You know, with Upstart Goblin, 3 pots, 3 card demises, and 2 Allure of Darknesses. I'm wondering if that's a little bit too much. You know, is that too much draw power and searching power with Recruiter, or should I put more monsters in? I'm still debating that. I really am. And more playtesting would be needed to be done. But up to this point, for playing, you know, card demise deck for the last 3 months, I've had no problems with it. But definitely 2 Allure of Darknesses at the moment. It's one of the reasons why I cut Commandant down from 3 of to 2 of. It doesn't... It's an Earth. You can't banish it, which sucks. But whatever the case may be. 2 Allure of Darknesses for draw power by banishing your darks. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. I do not currently own this card. I have not got it yet. But Cosmic Cyclone, I believe that came out in Dark Illusions just a couple of days ago. I would replace that over MST. So I would take the MSTs out and put 2 Cosmic Cyclone in if you have those cards, or if you're playing this deck online. Personally, I find it's a little bit better MST, but that's just me. If you want to run MST with Cosmic Cyclone, go right ahead. I would not run Twin Twister because you gain no benefits off sending any of your cards to the graveyard. You really gain no benefits whatsoever. So just 2 MST with 2 Cosmic Cyclone, up to you. Next, the one obligatory Royal Tribute. This card wins you games, especially against Pendulum dot decks. 1 Book of Moon, 1 Upstart Goblin, 1 Regeki. Side note, with a lot of decks not running traps as much nowadays, I find that Royal Tribute's a lot more live because they're running more monster-heavy decks. So Royal Tribute becomes live and can be an auto-win condition if you get to it. And with Card Demise and all this draw power and the ability to search Necro Valley, it's a lot more live than it was. So if Royal Tribute ever goes back to more than 1 of and Card Demise is still around, oh my gosh, that would be good times. 1 Book of Moon with your Spy, 1 Upstart Goblin, I like it. Pay 1,000, draw a card, thin your deck, get to your plays. Regeki, clear the board, attack. Simple stuff, non-targeting removal. Next, for your trap lineup, guys, we run 1 Rite of Spirit. Like I was saying earlier, I'm debating about running a second one. It's really good and a multi-versatile thing. So I'll just show you some things I was hypothetically thinking about because I have some time on this video. So hypothetically, I was thinking about running Gravekeeper Shaman. Because the fact of the matter is, if you draw this card, you can pitch it with Card Demise, and you draw a Rite of Spirit, or you have a Rite of Spirit set, or whatever. What you can easily do is, I send Gravekeeper Shaman to the graveyard. I set my Rite of Spirit. On your turn, I flip up the Rite of Spirit. I bring back my Gravekeeper Shaman. So you don't get a negative off discarding a monster by Card Demise because of Rite of Spirit. You can rebring those cards back, like Descendant, Recruiter, whatever the case may be. You can just reborn them back. However, I am still debating that, logic, and still testing it out even up to this time of me doing this deck profile. And I'll probably revamp the deck once the ban list comes out and try out a little bit more. But this is what I've been working with for the last couple of months. Like I said, I do like the 1 Rite of Spirit. I may bump it up to 2 of in the future by taking out maybe the Upstart Goblin or one of the Allure of Darknesses. I'm still debating. Probably I would take out the Upstart Goblin and run 2 Rite of Spirit, but still debating that at the moment. Next up, we run 2 Imperial Tombs at Necro Valley. This card is sorely underrated. I know people don't like this card because they feel it's too situational. I get that. But this card has won me so many games, especially because it's such a good trap card, and you can easily search out, get your setup with a Necro Valley out on the field and a Gravekeeper on the field. It's such a good card. So this card pretty much is like, think of it as Solemn Judgment, or Infernity Barrier for Infernities back in the day. Pretty much the only requirements, you can stop spells, monster effects, trap effects, spell effects, whatever. But you have to freaking have a Necro Valley out in the field and a Gravekeeper monster face up on the field. Those are the only requirements. And people say it's situational, it's hard to set up. It really isn't, because of Card Demise. I mean, you can easily be like, okay, I search my Necro Valley, I have a monster on the field, I set this, it's live. With the consistency this deck has at the moment, it's a really good card, and I like it as a 2 of. Definitely run it in the deck. Even if you didn't like it in the past, try it out with the Card Demise builds, and you'll find it's a lot better. Just saying. But a great, great powerful card. Next, I run 2 lose 1 turns. This is for anti-meta decks out there that special summon a lot. You just switch their things to defense position and run them over because your Gravekeepers are all usually 2,000 beaters. Descendant is a 2,000 beater. 17 beaters, 18 beaters, 20. You have a lot of beaters in your deck that can just run over things. Because a lot of monsters out there nowadays, and even this has been the case throughout Yu-Gi-Oh history, there have very big attack but very low defense, and you can easily run them over. So 2 lose 1 turn, I definitely like it in this anti-meta type of deck because you don't special summon a lot. Then we run 1 Bottomless Trap Hole because it's just a good card and I do like it, and you run Trap Tricks with Flasia in the extra deck if you ever want to go into that. Then I run my Solemn Brigade, which is 1 Solemn Warning and 2 Solemn Strike. So yep, that's your Solemn Brigade there, staple. Just like the old days when I used to play Gravekeepers, you had your Solemn Brigade back then when Recruiter came out. Now you have your Solemn Brigade of 2016 for the moment. But unless Strike gets hit or something. For your extra deck guys, we run, give me 1 second here, we got Master Key Beetle, which is very good, especially when you're sliding into in game 2 with more anti-meta cards to face your opponent. 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare. This card really can come in handy, and I do go for it sometimes. 1 Wind Up Zemayo, reflip down your flip effect Gravekeeper Spy. And we also run Utopia and Utopia the Lightning. So those are the cards you run there. These cards are usually the ones you go for the most next to some of the other ones I'm going to show you. Key Beetle, Evil Swarm Nightmare I find has been really good. Zemayo sometimes you go for, and Utopia is the main one you'll go for, I find. You rarely go into the extra deck, if ever, with Gravekeepers. Next you have your 101, your Castel. These are some other ones you go into a lot. Your Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, your Gaga Cowboy, and your Heartland Drago. Heartland Drago can win you games by attacking directly with 2,000. Cowboy can pew pew for game. Dark Rebellion can get around things. Castel a good card. 101 a good card. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Then we got Trap Tricks with Flasia. Number 103 for decks that gain attack. Giant Hand if you want to go for that. Abyss Dweller and Diamond Dire Wolf. So just basic things here that are pretty good that you can go into in a rank 4 deck. Because the deck can easily go for rank 4s, but you don't need to go for them. You're mainly focused on your main deck. So guys, I hope all of you guys enjoyed this deck profile. It's a very fun and consistent deck to play with card demise in it. Like I said, we'll have to see what the ban list brings, so I may have to change it up in the future. But for now, it has been amazing. It has been very good, very consistent, and I've had a lot of fun playing this deck over the last couple of months. But still, I'm testing the deck out, trying different ratios out, but this is what I got for right now for August. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody, and go GKs. GKs for life, Holmes.